Communication Workers Union to ensure that their negotiations are settled and settled in the interest of every worker and settled now. We went on public records and we want to continue to say publicly, we are looking at the whole change of the industrial relations landscape. The introduction of armed security at the bargaining table is something that every trade union should condemn. You have a situation where the Employers Consultative Association immediately jump up and comment when workers take action in defense of their own interests. But the ECA would not condemn their own members for bringing into the collective bargaining process armed security. They want to take us back to the days, those turbulent days, when they would be jostling you, when you are seeking to get your terms and conditions right, such terms and conditions that you enjoy today on the basis of those struggles. But if they want to jostle us and take us back to those days, we have to be prepared to jostle all of them in the interest of our collective agreement, job security, and all working people going forward, comrades. And I am very heartened today to see the participation by TSTT workers. What it means to us is that workers are prepared to put their body, put their mouth, put their feet where their mouth is to ensure that the powers that be hear them. For too long in this country, working people and some trade unions, and every time we get an opportunity, we like to seize the moment to say that some of the problems we are experiencing today is supported by a few trade unions who are friends of the government. Yes, they are also under attack. But because of petty political positions, they stay silent while working people suffer. Regardless of what position you hold in the geographical landscape or the political landscape, or I dare say the religious landscape, we have to call a spade a spade. And Patrick Manning and his government was against for quite a while since they come into office, and they still continue to lead an attack against working people in this country. And we have to be able to say that. And we must say it clear, without fear, yes, of contradiction or fear of anything at all, as we mobilize and as we infuriate, because that's what we must do. Every single worker in TSTT, every single worker in TNTech, every single worker, working people in this country must be mad and get upset to the point where he or she is prepared to take a particular course of action. Have to come to that point. And so once we come to that point where enough people get vexed at the same time, well then and only then Mr. Emperor, Mr. Manning will begin to listen. Now, Mr. Manning have the thing wrong, you know. He still have it wrong. He had it wrong all the time, and he still has it upside down. First of all, in that address last night, Mr. Patrick Manning, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, ought to have apologized to working people and every citizen of the country for taking us down a wrong economic road. He did not do that. He has to apologize. And immediately upon that apology, then he must settle all outstanding negotiations that are protracted for quite a while. Then and only then, he can have the moral authority, persuasion, to talk about belt tightening and so on. Remember September the 8th? Come on, remember September the 8th? Massive campaign. You would recall, we were in front of the Parliament, we were in front of Whitehall. The Prime Minister drove out with his security detail. His security detail ensured that you don't even see the faces of workers, and then he passed back with a smirk and a kind of arrogant look on his faces, and the faces of all those ministers. And what were we saying? We were saying, Mr. Manning, the question of inflation, it is killing Trinidad and Tobago. The question of crime, it is killing us. The question of lack of proper health care at our nation's facilities, it is killing all of us. And you must sit up and take notice. He did absolutely nothing. In fact, you had the issue of his Minister of Works saying that we have money and we must spend money. Yeah? The issue of executive jet, 200 plus luxury cars, all of that, ambitious, unnecessary public expenditure with respect to tall high-rise and skyline buildings and so on. All of that in a spate of arrogance, the likes of which perhaps we've never seen before. But let me tell you something, comrade. Sometimes We are not about setting in any proper or any political camp one way or the other. We are not about that. We are about taking independent positions. And if it is, you had situations where governments of the past would have been doing what Manning doing, well then we suggest, by looking back at history, the response would have been different. I'm merely suggesting that we have to get back our ammunition, take up the tools that we had in the past, and take action against Mr. Patrick Manning. Because if you don't do that, all of us, the next thing you'll be coming to say is that job cuts left, right, and center.